My name is Colby Sharp, 5th grade teacher in Michigan. Welcome to my channel where we try to help kids fall in love with reading. Today we're going to be talking about 10 amazing picture books that I read aloud to my 5th graders during the month of December. If you're new here, please consider subscribing so that you can be notified anytime we share something new about the latest and greatest in children's literature in different ways to get kids excited about reading. Here we go. Book 1, One Day, The End. Very short, shorter than ever stories. So what I love about this book is it's like the beginning and the end of a story in words. So one day I went to school, I came home. And there's so much that happens in between. And what happens in between is shown in the pictures. Some of them go across 2-page spreads. It's a really fun book. It's a really quick read aloud. I like to save this one for when we don't have much time at the end of the day for our read aloud. And I can pull this one out because this one works anytime. It's great. One of the most underrated picture books to come out the last handful of years. It's awesome. Nell Plants a Tree. This is a 2023 picture book. It's on the Sharp Shoe list for our mock Caldecott list that I created with my friend John Shoe. And it's the story of a tree being planted. And you look at like the tree as it's all grown up and all the things that it's used for and the way that people just love this tree and it provides life. And but you go back to when it was a seed, when it was planted in a pot, and how Nell moved it into the ground and it became this thing that brings people so much joy and gives us life. It's just awesome. Nell Plants a Tree. Highly recommend this awesome book. I finally got a chance to read I'm From, and boy did we have a great discussion about it. I'm just going to read you one page. I come from early morning wake-ups, handcrafted blankets knitted with memories. And this story is just all about where this child is from and what makes them who they are. And boy, was it wonderful and amazing to listen to my kids after we read this to talk about where they're from and what makes them them. And what a great book as we're trying to understand identity better, who we are better, who each other is more clearly. That sentence didn't make sense, but you know what I mean. Fantastic picture book. I'll be reading this picture book aloud for the rest of my teaching career. It's just so good. Okay, so the next handful of books are books that we read during our social studies time. We study, in 5th grade social studies, we study the Americas from like way long ago when the first people came here, when the indigenous people first came to this land, all the way through like the Revolutionary War. And then we keep going if we can, but usually we just get a little past the Revolutionary War and do a little government study. So we are actually in December, usually like a lot of kind of exciting, fun, happy time in a lot of people's lives. We're not in a happy time in this country's history. And we have been learning about slavery and having some really strong discussions about it. And I've turned to picture books a bunch to help us with this learning and to help the kids get other perspectives and see things in other ways besides just our curriculum. And one book that we read is Freedom in Congo Square, which looks at the life of enslaved Africans living down in Louisiana. And you get a chance to learn about what their week looks like and how it ends with a little bit of time to go to Congo Square on Sundays. And my kids were very shocked by this book and just, I don't know, it's hard for them to process slavery and understand what it was like. But these picture books really, really help. This one is beautiful. And then we read The Bell Rings, and this takes a look at the life of a group of enslaved Africans. And over the course of 1 week, like the bell rings on Monday, is how the book opens, and it takes you day by day throughout the week. And the girl, I guess would be the main character, during this book, her brother runs away, and you get a chance to just kind of experience this week on a plantation and the intensity and the awful conditions that they had. A really powerful read and very just silent during the reading. The kids were just really trying to take it all in. A beautiful book. Next up, this one is also on the Sharp Shoe mock Caldecott list, An American Story. This book has a real shot to win the Newbery Medal and the Caldecott Medal. And what I love about this book is it starts during this time of slavery. but it starts in Africa, just looking at the lives of these people, enjoying life, living life, spending time together, telling stories, being together. And then I think this is actually the best page turn of the entire year, because you go from this to this, and it brings you across the Middle Passage and into the life of a slave later on in the story. A beautiful book, a heartbreaking book, a powerful book. Wow, one of the best books of the year. And as we're learning more about triangular trade and the Middle Passage and scrambles and slave auctions, the kids have so many questions. And so this is a really powerful book for us to be able to share. Freedom Over Me. It's 11 slaves, their lives and dreams brought to life by Ashley Bryan. And it starts off with, if you haven't read this, the slave owner, and it's got a page from them, but then it takes you into 11, is it 11? Yeah, 11 slaves. So you have like some information on them and then what their dreams are. And it really brings these individuals to life in a just really beautiful and powerful and heartbreaking way. Freedom Over Me. Whew, intensity. All right, so we're gonna maybe we're gonna like move out of those books about slavery. Always looking for more to share. And these are not all of the books that I read during the month of December. These are just 10 of them. We probably read, I don't know, 15 or 16. This is a book that just is new to me. It's called Empty in Me, and it was originally published, I believe, in Iran, and it has recently been translated to English. I'll put a list of all of these books down in the description in case you want to, I'll maybe put some links so you can get some more information on them. It's a story of a girl whose mother has died, and when her mother dies, Empty shows up, and it's just about her and her grief and kind of trying to put the pieces back together and how Empty helps her. Yeah, wow, sad, holy smokes, but also hopeful and beautiful and really well done. We read some really intense books during this month, but not all of them were intense. We also read a 2024 book, we had an early copy of Sean Harris's The Teeny Weeny Unicorn. You just can't even not smile when reading that title. It's a story of this unicorn who lives during a time of unicorns, and it is like way smaller than all the other unicorns view there, and doesn't have the same opportunities because it's so small. And then eventually it comes across another so maybe a garden gnome, or not a garden, a gnome, I believe, and that gnome is way smaller and thinks Teeny's actually giant. So it's really a great book about perspective and seeing ourselves for who we are and seeing through some of these, I don't know, stereotypes that other people see for different reasons about us. It's a great book. It's hilarious. Sean Harris, he illustrated the first Cat in Space, ate pizza. It's just a hoot. Really, really fun book. And then finally, In the Night Garden. I just loved this. This book was just so warm. It felt like a book you would read aloud at night forever. Maybe I'll read like this book aloud to my kids and then eventually my grandkids. But just all of these different things that happen in the garden at night. And the art, let me see if I can find like I love this. Like this beautiful art, but with like these pieces of paper to create different parts of the setting. Holy smokes. In the Night Garden. So those are 10 amazing picture books that I read. Powerful picture books, important picture books. Not necessarily the easiest picture books to read. Hope you found something to add to your collection that you can check out yourself and then decide if that's something that you want to share with the readers you serve. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Colby. I hope you have an awesome-tastic day.